All right. Hey, gang. Welcome to the Inside WAG Nutrition Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Chris. And before we start today's episode, I just want to remind you all that as listeners of the podcast, we provide the coupon code INSIDEWAG to use at checkout to take $50 off any of our nutrition coaching levels, whether it be our standard coaching for one-on-one coaching check-ins through Seismic, or our new NCP, our Nutrition Coaching Plus program that includes one video chat a month with your coach as well. So feel free to pop that code INSIDEWAG in checkout at workingagainstgravity.com/join to take $50 off your first membership. And what are we going to be talking about today, Josh?
Well, today we are going to be talking to Tara Roberts, who is a WAG coach. Tara, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you.
Yep.
Wanted to kick things off right away and just ask you, where do you live? Who do you share your space with? And how life is going right now? What's up?
Thanks. I live in Gilbert, Arizona. So we're just heading into our hot season of the year. It's about 100 degrees most days right now through October-ish.
Right
So
now it's
definitely
100 degrees?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes.
No thanks.
Right? I've been here for about 30 years or so. I am married to my husband, Ryan, and we have 2 kids that live with us. Our older kids, adult kids that are still living with us, which I'm enjoying and loving. Not ready for them to leave the space just yet. I know. So
That's
sweet.
very sweet.
And then
It is sweet.
Yeah, it is. I know you're just have small children now and one on the way, but it's really fun to live with adult children too.
Cool.
And
That's to look
then I
forward to.
you have many, many years. And then I have a boxer named Queenie. She's 5 years old. And then I've got 2 cats, Hurley and Cy. One is my son's cat that lives with us.
Gotcha.
Hurley and Cy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I've on Instagram and other social media outlets. You and your husband do a lot of motorcycle trips. Is that right?
We do. Every
Yeah.
year we do a long trip in the summer. So we pick a destination to go. Last year we went to Yosemite and we hiked Half Dome, which was probably one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had hiking. It was just absolutely beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, this year we're actually going to go to Sturgis for like the whole big motorcycle rally. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's
North
in
Dakota?
August. I think South Dakota.
South
Yeah, isn't it like
Dakota?
Black
Okay.
Hills, South Dakota?
Yeah.
Black Hills region? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So yeah, we try to do one trip. We've got 2 other couples that we go with. So it's a lot of fun. I write my book, check everything out, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
That's very cool. Like I said, I
Nice.
remember-
And so you said this is your first time to Sturgis? Both of you?
Yeah, it is. We've done other trips. We've gone up to Yellowstone, through California, through Colorado, those areas. So this will be our first thing out a little bit more east.
Right on.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just traveling all over the place, getting all the great states.
It's really
Love
nice
that.
with Airbnbs now because you can kind of just, stay at little places along the way, and it makes that type of traveling pretty easy
Yeah.
and comfortable.
Yeah. The short-term stay type stuff, options.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the unique experience of a unique Airbnb, especially like desert type Airbnbs and stuff like that. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be cool as hell.
Yeah, we stayed in one in Idaho, and it just had like the most beautiful like patio and view, just stuff that I've never seen in my life. That was just amazing and like unexpected.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It gives you all the ideas for what your dream home we could all
Exactly. And
encapsulate one day, right?
it gets us out of the heat during the summer, which is our other big goal here.
Sure. I
Yeah.
cannot imagine having 3 months of just straight heat. Whoa. That's a heat like
I
that.
mean,
That's-
I see your snow, and I feel the same way. Like, I don't even know how you guys would walk outside of your house.
It's
I don't know. It's such a
go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was gonna say, I think it's like I think it's easier to warm up than it is to cool down. To me, you know what I mean? So like those super hot places in Arizona, like
Yeah.
Nevada, like the Hoover Dam is the hottest place I've ever been in my life, and you're walking into a heavy wall of air the entire time because it's so dry at the same time, right?
It
It's not like
feels
a
like you're
southern
like an
wet hot.
oven.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
It feels like you're walking into an oven.
yeah, you're in an air fryer. That's it. You're just in an air
Pretty
fryer,
much.
sizzling on all sides.
Yeah, it's I think every year there's at least one point every year we ask ourselves like, what are we doing? What are we doing here?
Same.
There's
Why are we here?
4 feet of snow outside. What are we doing?
Yeah, you could be mowing your lawn all
I
year
know.
long,
I
Josh,
You
know.
if you
really
live somewhere
could.
else, you know.
You
Think
really
about the
could.
happiness
Oh,
every
every
Friday
Friday.
for a year, dude.
The unbelievable
Oh.
new heights of joy reached.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So well, cool. Arizona. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Um,
Yeah.
so let's get into like the health and fitness world a little bit here. How did you find? I was gonna say, how did you get in touch with WAG, and how did you like find WAG? But we'll go back a little bit further. Like before WAG, were you into doing nutrition and into exercising? I know you're a CrossFitter. No, you're a CrossFitter.
Yep.
So like before
So,
WAG, how'd that all go?
yeah, but so before that, I was a runner.
Okay.
So I started running. One day I just decided that I wanted to get in better shape, just like a lot of women do, or people in general. I was just about to turn 30 and I felt like I needed to make a change in my life. My kids were like a little bit older, to the point where I could leave the house to get in a quick run. And I think that's why I chose running, because there's no schedule. You could just put on your shoes whenever it's
Yeah.
convenient and get in a
I like
quick
that.
workout. So I started running, and just the kind of person I am, I'm like, I'm just going to sign up for a half marathon. Like, I've been running for a month. I got this. So I signed up for a half marathon and just trained for like 12 weeks. And, it went okay. So I did a few of those locally and then started incorporating them into our summer vacations. I would go run in San Diego, and then it eventually increased to marathon distance. But kind of what I noticed along the way was that I was kind of skinny fat, and I was, fitter, but there was something that was missing for me at that point. And I kind of missed the companionship of like being with other
Yeah.
people. It's a lot of time by yourself when you're running. And so that's when I decided to start doing CrossFit. There was a local one in my area next to a restaurant that my husband and I would take the kids to eat, and I would see all these people in there working out. I was looking in the window and I'm like, I think I want to do
Yeah.
that. And so I literally walked into a CrossFit gym one day, no experience at all with any kind of lifting, and just signed up and fell in love with it.
Awesome.
So I want to say I started that in 2013. So yeah, it's been about 10 years I've been doing CrossFit.
Wow.
And I signed up for my level 1 in 2015 and started coaching CrossFit at the local gym. So coached in the evenings, and then kind of morphed into taking on some of the new member roles and doing the onboarding experiences with new people, which I thought was so important,
Yeah.
to set your new members up for
Oh, it's
success
so important.
right at the gym.
Incredibly important.
It really is.
So you were specifically assigned to the newbies to like help welcome them into the
Yep.
community, kind of do their probably a foundations
Three
kind of, right?
foundation classes. So spending
Wow.
all the time with them doing that. At my own time, learning in my own journey, right? I was still somewhat new, but like I said, I kind of go all in when I go in. So just like running to, going all in, I kind of felt like that with CrossFit. I wanted to do more than just be an athlete in the gym. I also wanted to coach.
Cool.
And then probably in 2016, 2017, I realized that there was still something missing, and that was the nutrition piece, and really trying to understand how to get stronger, to get leaner, because, I'm still running, I'm doing CrossFit, And, you can make a lot of physical progress that way, but there's still more that you can do both with fueling and aesthetically once you pair your nutrition.
Totally.
So I had heard about working against gravity on a podcast. And so
Which one? Do you remember?
It was, I want to say Amy Everett's podcast. She had a D on.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was, that a D was on her podcast, something like that. Or maybe it was Brute Strength. Somehow I got connected with that group. And so I pulled them up online and I emailed WAG and I was like, hey, I want to be a coach. Like literally, I don't even want to be, I just want to be a coach.
You just jumped straight to it, huh?
I just said, yeah, I just want to, I totally want to help people. This is what I want to do. At the time, I had a full-time career in another industry. And so I was still, working full-time coaching. And at that time, you had to be a client first. You probably still do today. You had to be a client first. So I sign up and I get Coach Josh. He's my first. Yeah, you're my coach. Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to say he taught me all the ropes. He taught me the basics and he helped me make a pretty quick transformation, in my first 3 to 6 months with WAG. Along the way, I'm still working on doing the certification myself so that at some point I can start taking on my own clients. So
beautiful.
Yeah, I continued down that path and continued to make sure I kept connected with that time Yvette to help on the career side of things, still working with Josh and like loving everything that I'm learning and how I'm feeling in my workouts. Like it was incredible to me how much of an impact that nutrition made on my CrossFit, my running, everything, the way that I looked at food, because I thought I was, doing a pretty good job of eating healthy, but I probably wasn't eating near enough protein or eating enough throughout the day to really keep my body fueled for as much activity as I was doing.
Wow. Yeah, it's such an exciting time when all those things start to align, the pieces come together, and then you just feel like this rocket ship that just can't be stopped. And it's such a motivating, like aspirational thing. And then you're just like, well, how do we just keep this going? Right. Like, I love the similarities in our path. Like same thing, started CrossFit, turning 30, got to handle this now because I don't want to be trying to handle it when I'm 50. Right. Like all those things, podcast, WAG, client, coach, boom. It's like all these similarities we're seeing, Josh, in our coaches. It's kind of funny. Yeah. Life
changing. So I think around 2018 is when I finally started coaching with WAG. So it took about a year of completing the certification and just waiting for a substitute coach spot to open up. And so I just kept at it, kept learning as much as I could. Josh, super good about sharing a lot of resources, which was super helpful for, reading up, listening to podcasts, like just taking in as much information as I could, not only for myself, but at this point I was probably side coaching my friends and, some folks at the CrossFit gym, trying to put into practice what I was learning. And, when you get started, you need that group of people that are going to trust you and, to practice on.
Yeah.
Now, I want to back up real quick. During all of this, like before you were brought on as a full-time coach, you were working a totally separate, totally just not even anywhere remotely related to nutrition or fitness or anything. What was that? I mean, if you can say, or if you're
I worked at the University of Phoenix. I was a senior director.
Oh, wow.
Senior director of finance. Oh, wow. And I was there for 14 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So totally not related to this very high stress, long hours kind of situation.
Going into the office. I imagine.
Going into the office, commuting almost an hour back and forth to work. And then I would either coach the 5:30, 6:30 classes, change at the gym, drive to the office, work a full day,
Wow.
drive back to the gym, work out. So it was
Wow.
a lot. It was a
Yeah.
lot at that point. But I kind of had this feeling that this was the direction that I wanted to go, and I just kind of needed to keep at it. And so eventually, when a full-time coaching position opened up, I left that job and came on to WAG and also worked at the CrossFit gym. So I was managing and coaching at the gym, and then taking on my clients, coaching my clients at WAG.
Wow.
And
That's
then
awesome.
COVID hit. So the whole gym side of the world stopped for a while, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I realized that I really wanted to even put more emphasis into the WAG and coaching and kind of step back from um, the time at the gym, mostly because you probably know from owning an affiliate, like there's so much time. Like I would be 13 hours a day kind of on call for the
Yeah.
gym. You figure from your 5 a.m. to your 7 p.m. It was just kind of a
Yeah.
lot. Like it was a lot of time to be available. So it actually ended up being a good thing for me. I took a step back from as much as I was doing there and focused more on WAG. And so it was a good, definitely a good
Yeah.
transition.
Unexpected, but warranted shit you
Yeah,
probably needed
yeah,
and that you didn't
yeah.
realize at the
Yeah.
time, right? Yeah.
I didn't. I was just like, I'm just gonna work all these long
Yeah.
hours, and I didn't even, prioritize the self-care and sleep and all the things that we talk to our clients about. Those things
Mm.
were kind of off balance until COVID happened, and I was forced to make that
Yeah.
change. And
Yeah.
now, selfishly, I like having that, downtime and getting all of the sleep and kind of doing things around my schedule, which we're very fortunate that we have a lot of flexibility with our schedules here, and we can
Hmm.
fit our lives
Yeah.
around that.
Yeah. And that's one thing I always like to ask our coaches too is like, how was that transition from having a time and a place and a physical destination to be the hour commute both ways? Like, how did your world change? And like, how did you adapt to that transition? Like, did you find it hard having to make your own schedule, work from home, and like allocating your time? Or was it just the freeing thing that you needed to
It's the
actually
freeing.
preserve your time?
It was the freeing thing that I needed because I always felt
Mm.
like I was wasting so much time in the drive. And then I would get to work and I was so just stressed out about the traffic and the commute. And today I wake up, my dog wakes me up. So I'm on her schedule. She wakes me up in the morning or like 5:30. I get my cup of coffee, I sit down and I start working. And I like that.
Yeah.
I like to,
Yeah.
I'm best in the
Yeah.
morning. And so I really like being able to put my effort in the morning. And then I'll take a break mid morning and she and I go out for a walk. So it's again that time to clear my head, reset, prepare for, working with more client check-ins in the rest of the morning into the afternoon. And then I pretty much done with my workday around 2, 3
Yeah.
o'clock, which I like.
Lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're at your best when you're like you start your day filling that cup, right? Like kind of easing into the
Yeah.
day, and then your mind is so much more alert and you're ready to help people. You're like, all right, let's change some lives
Yeah.
today, hopefully.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how I feel. And I love that I can take a little bit of a break if I need it. Like if I need that mental break, I have the flexibility to go for a
Yeah.
walk or, you know, do a little housework and then clear my head, come back and be at my best self.
Totally.
I
Yeah.
don't feel that pressure to have to just be in this grind of a work day and be at, the liberty of having to do back to back meetings or all of those things that I was dealing with
Yeah.
before.
Huge.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
What a freeing place to be.
definitely.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
So next question, Tara. So obviously, you've been at this for some time now, some years. So you may not have one particular accomplishment or moment. Maybe there's a few, but one thing we like to ask our coaches is what's one of the proudest accomplishments as a WAG coach?
I think I can somewhat generalize because I've had quite a few clients that have made this, but clients that are actually impacted and they have a true transformation. And I don't just mean a physical transformation, but actually either changing the way they feel about their relationship with food or their body, or learning how great they feel just by adding in exercise. Things that felt like they were so hard before that become part of their routine, and they just didn't realize how much they needed it and how much that would impact them.
Hmm.
I've got a handful of clients I can say that have had these true transformations and are still doing exhibiting the same habits today because they want to and because they feel so good. And at the time when they started, maybe they didn't even eat vegetables, or they didn't drink water, or they didn't get out and walk, and now they're doing all of those things, and they have the quality of life that they really wanted. I just love seeing that.
Yeah, it's
Like,
fantastic.
it's exciting when you work with someone that's already fit and you're helping them elevate maybe to their next level of their journey.
Sure.
But I really like the ones that were coming from really far out and kind of helping them change their lives.
I agree. That's my favorite
Yeah.
client to work with, is just like, the person that's just trying to be better, show up better
Yeah.
for their kids, be a better role model, inspire others around them. And then again, we always talk about, but the tendrils that follow and
Yeah.
where they reach, it's endless, and
And
so
yeah,
positive ripples.
seeing them pay it forward, like with their families.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of like moms and dads about how what they're doing today is really modeling the future for their children, because maybe they grew up in a house not eating vegetables and they don't know how to cook with them, and we kind of teach them that here, and like they're literally changing their future for generations, which I think is so cool.
That is cool. Yeah, what better way to what more impactful way could you
Yeah.
make a difference in someone's life? That's
Yeah.
it's awesome. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Just a quick comment, like results are cool, but like the knowledge and the skill set to last you a lifetime, priceless.
Yeah.
Right then and there, because it's exactly what you said. You taught them how to not stop the things that benefit them, and they become no-brainers. Like, why wouldn't I do this thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Because I literally feel better. I can feel the difference in energy. I'm not crashing in the afternoon anymore. And I realize like a lot of people think that they don't have time to plan their meals, but really you're going to plan your meal regardless of whether you're intentional and do it ahead of time or you go through a drive-through. You're literally taking that time anyway. So why not be more proactive?
Good point.
Time is time.
Time is time. Yeah.
And how you spend it matters.
I read a thing, and I'm reading a book called Hyperfocus right now, and one of the lines that he uses repetitively is intention precedes attention. Intention precedes attention. So it's like, like you said, you have time, you're going to make a decision. So why don't we make that a good one? How about that?
Yeah.
How about we just slow things down a little bit, give it some thought, and make it count, So that's
I'm
awesome.
like honestly the queen of the simple meals. Like I
love it.
don't get me wrong, I love recipes, but I'm so simple, and I'm like, I promise you I could make a meal in the time it takes you to get to the drive-through, go home, eat your meal. Like I really could. We can do that. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. It can still be delicious. It's going to get the job done.
And it doesn't have to be complicated.
It doesn't.
No.
Yeah. That's how I love to eat. Just make it so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people.
And there's totally times when I'll go all out, on the weekends, if I have more time to cook and plan, like I'll make something that's a little bit fancier. But during the week when we're all busy, like I just want to feed my family and get something on the table that everybody can eat that is nutritious.
Yeah. That's it. And the thing is, like simple meals don't have to be just like these stale, boring things. Like you can, it's very easy to have those core groups, like, protein, carbs, and fats, which we all talk about a lot, but it's like all of a sudden, like throwing just a little bit of spice or cooking the meats and vegetables on a grill or doing these like
Yeah.
little things, all of a sudden it's like a totally different meal. You're like, oh, like this is
Mm.
awesome. And it's literally the same
Yeah.
stuff I had last week, but it's just prepared different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But prepared differently.
Yep.
Exactly.
Same but
Same but
different.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
kind of along the lines of cooking and preparing meals, things like that, is there one piece of advice that you find yourself giving clients a lot, or something that maybe you really like to tell them, like a piece of advice?
I really think two things. One is to not overcomplicate, because I think that there's this thought that um, that planning or tracking has to be really
Hmm.
complicated. So I try and help people, remind them to keep it very simple, that we don't have to do anything
Yeah.
complicated. And then secondly, I think I really like to help people, remind them to have patience with themselves, that you're also learning. And so we don't expect you to learn a new skill
Hmm.
overnight. And so give yourself some grace if you stumble a little bit, or if the week didn't go as you planned. It doesn't mean that you have to just give
Yeah.
up. You would think about learning a new job or a new sport or a new hobby. Like, all of those things take time, and this is no
Yeah.
different.
Well said.
So that's what I kind of try to um, repeat to a lot of my clients, because I know everybody wants to just be there already,
Yeah.
be there as fast as they can. And that just isn't realistic for a lot of people, or
Hmm.
sustainable.
Yeah.
So,
The sustainability. Yeah, for sure. That's hard.
yeah.
Yeah. And oftentimes clients aren't really particularly worried about that up front. They're just like, I just need to get to this. I need to get over this hill first,
Hmm.
and then I could worry about that stuff later. But that's why everyone's journey is different. There's some
Yeah.
people that get there quickly and then they can maintain it because they learned enough along the way. And there's some people that get there quickly because they followed the rules, if quote unquote rules or guidelines, right,
Right.
of strictness and got there quicker, but then didn't learn anything in that rigid exclusiveness to really
Or worse,
broaden their horizons and find freedom.
or super unhappy about it. Like, if
Yeah.
I don't love it when clients tell me that they're not happy with what they're eating. And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's not do that, because that's not going to help us it's not going to help us create sustainability if you're not happy with what you're
Yeah.
eating.
Yeah.
But, I find with people, most of the time, there's just like one big rock that we have to move out of the way. And so if we can just figure out this one thing to start doing or to stop doing, it kind of opens the floodgates
Yeah.
for progress.
Yep. That's it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hmm.
All right. So here's kind of a different question for you, Tara. What's something most people may not know about you? Do you have a secret hidden talent? Have you done something crazy, extraordinary that no one's heard of? Like, yeah.
Not really. I feel like I'm a pretty open book. I live kind of like a boring life, but like I said, I think that the big hike that we did, it was, I think it ended up being a 17-mile hike
Shoot.
in Half Dome. Unfortunately, we
That's a good
couldn't.
day.
I don't know how much you know about it, but there's like a whole cable situation at the end, which
I have.
I would have been too scared. You're literally climbing up a rock with cables and
You're
um,
clipped in, right? Like with little
mhm.
notches, safe points,
Yeah,
save
yeah,
points along the way, like a video game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would have been too scared. I was too scared, but unfortunately we couldn't do it because it was like rain was coming, and they don't, they're
Mm-mm.
concerned about it. But you still go up, it, what was it, 8 miles, up, and then
Yeah.
you're at this beautiful, like, top of the world in Yosemite, and then you come back down. So that's probably one of like the coolest things that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, like, not really a lot. Like we talked about, I've run marathons, I've done local CrossFit competitions, all of those fun things that I think were like things that meant a lot,
Mhm.
and big achievements that I did in my 30s. Um, and now I kind of am just happy with maintaining my level of fitness and really focusing on my health. Like, my goals have kind of
Mhm.
shifted, and I'm not nearly as competitive as I used to be, but I'm okay with that. Like, I'm happy just hitting up the gym, getting in my best hour of my
Yeah.
day, walking my dog,
Awesome.
just
Yeah.
like the basic stuff.
Well, that hike is such a perfect analogy for the journey that you went through too,
Yeah.
right? Like you were willing to push past the uncomfortable parts, the scary parts, and then the payoff at the top was monumental in the sense that you like all the hard work was worth it. And what you learned along the way, what you experienced and added into your repertoire created the Tara today, who is now just merely focused on maintaining what was hard at first, which has now become incredibly easy. Like everything you do is probably a no-brainer because you just wake up and you execute, you do it.
Right.
You know,
I don't have
done
to
is
think
done.
about it. Yeah.
Yep. And what a liberating, what a freeing place to be. And that's what we hope for all of our clients, you know, like we've done our job if a client can express half of that back to us, right?
Absolutely.
Half of that joy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're kind of getting to the end of our questions and things here, Tara. So, the last thing that we like to ask folks is, what is one? This is maybe similar to the one I just asked not too long ago, but I'll ask it anyways. What's one piece of parting advice that you can give someone listening to this that is maybe on the fence about starting their nutrition journey, or they're just not quite sure which way to go? Like, what's something that you would tell your mom and dad, your brother or sister? Like, what would you say to someone who's just getting started?
I'm so glad you bring it up because I do talk to my family about this. I'm actually really proud. All of my sisters, I have 4 sisters.
Oh, wow.
And they're all working out and eating healthy. Like, I think I've been an influence to them over the years, which is really cool to see because they have young children and they get to the gym at 4:45 a.m. Not wake up, they get to the gym at 4:45, which is like, that's so much discipline. But what I say to people is, why would you not want to feel the best that you can? Like, what we're doing here isn't about being restrictive. What we're doing here is helping you live the best life that you can, to feel the best that you can each and every day when you wake up, to feel in control of your nutrition again and like your health outcome. Like, that's what this is about to me. It's less about dieting and rules and structure and more about, creating a lifestyle that's going to make you feel your best. So why would you not want to do that?
Well said. Nailed it. Wow. Love that, Tara.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, it's like, yeah,
I think you got your opening intro right there, Josh.
I'd say so. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, yeah.
Well said. Well, I mean, that's a great way. I mean, you can't end a podcast any better than that.
Nope.
So I'll just say, Tara, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing so much great information and wisdom. It was awesome to have you on. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, gang, that's it for this week's episode. So please check us out at workingagainstgravity.com/join. You can work with Tara or myself or Chris or any of the other wonderful coaches that we have on staff at Working Against Gravity. And don't forget the code. Chris, what is it one more time?
INSIDEWAG.
There you go. At checkout.
Lowercase, capitalized, don't matter. INSIDEWAG.
At checkout, gang, get $50 off of your first month. It's worth it. It'll be great. So worth it.
Yes.
Thank you all again for listening, and we'll see you next time.